Hello and welcome to a behind the scenes beer and code. Still working on those Euler problems. Well, I just finished filming the first video with the problems 1 and 2, and I wanted to go back and tidy up some of my utility functions. If you remember right, I used this is divisible f and 2, which is just checking to see if a number is even. I didn't really much care for how I had to write that. I'd like a is even function, so I'm going to write that right now. Which just takes in a number and returns if that number is even. And we're going to use is divisible to do that, and it's going to be n and 2, because if a number is divisible by 2, then it's even. Alright, now, if you also remember, I implemented this Fibonacci function in a naive way, I said. What I'm going to do, well, the reason it's naive is because in order to calculate n minus 1, I go through this function again. And then I go through this function again. But I've already calculated, well, it ends up being a lot of rework, I guess. So what I'm going to do is something called Memo-ize, which is, once I've figured out the answer to one of the problems, I'm going to save it in memory, and then if I ever need to solve it again, I will go back and look in the memory. So first I need to create some memory. We're going to call it fib, for fib memory, and we're going to use an array. And the array, the array is going to be the Fibonacci numbers. So Fibonacci of 0 is 1, Fibonacci of 1 is 1, Fibonacci of 2 is 2, and it goes 3, 5, 8, 13. Alright, that's a good start. So now that I have my memory here with some initial values, what I'm going to do is, I'm still going to need to calculate it for values I don't know. And then what I'll do is I will save the result that I've calculated. So back into the memory. So fib memory at n is equal to result. Alright, so that's saving the results and then return result. Whoopsies. So this is saving the result, but now we need to check to see if we already have it in memory. So if we're going to use type of undefined, or type of, yeah, I'll type it out. So what this is saying is, if Fibonacci of, so what it's saying essentially is if we've saved this number already, so if it's not undefined, then just grab it from the memory and return it. Otherwise, we'll go in here and we'll do our calculation. But if we get in here, it means we've saved it. So we're just going to return fib memory at n. Now that should give us some faster Fibonacci results. Let me see here. I think that's all I wanted to do to tidy this up before I moved on to the next versions. If we left this Fibonacci function in the naive way of just always calculating things, later on the problems get a little more tricky and complicated and more processor intensive, and it may actually have just drug the computer down, and I probably would not have been able to solve some of them. So I wanted to get in here and tidy this up. Let's make sure that it's still working. So let's go back over here. Refresh it, hit solve. That looks like the same number. 4613732. 4613732. Okay, cool. So I'm getting the same answer from both of my Fibonacci functions. So that's how I know it was correct. So thank you for watching Behind the Scenes Beer and Code. Drinking more Northeast. Cheers, and thanks for watching.